Welcome to the Giants Prospect Profile, a mini-series we do here within the Giants franchise where we go over top prospects throughout the organization from AA Richmond up to AAA Sacramento. This is the first edition of the Prospect Profile for this year's franchise, so what's a better way to start off than the top prospect in the organization, one of the best prospects throughout all of baseball in catcher Joey Bart. He was drafted in 2018, second overall out of Georgia Tech. He was the ACC Player of the Year. He was the Defensive Player of the Year in 2018. MLB.com has him rated as the #1 catching prospect, as well as number 21 in their top 100 prospects in general. And in-game, he is listed at standing 6'3", 220 pounds, but Baseball Reference and MLB.com has him listed at 6'2", 235, so I'm probably going to change that. As far as Bart's ratings go, he is currently sitting at a 68 overall, A potential, and his bat is really the main thing that stands out about him. That's what makes him such a highly touted prospect. He is currently sitting at a 51 contact against lefties and a 50 contact against righties, while with his power it is a 56 against righties and a 64 against lefties. Now obviously, as those stats stand right now, they're pretty, mediocre on a major league level, or maybe just average or slightly above average. But he is an A potential, he is only 22 years old, so those stats are going to continue to go up as his career goes on, while his vision and discipline will also continue to improve, as right now they are not the greatest ratings, at only a 41 vision and a 42 discipline. Now, Joey Bart is a catcher, so that means that his defense is a very important part of his game, and in-game, his defense is not rated that well, which is interesting because everything I've read about this guy says that he has improved immensely behind the plate as a defensive player. He receives pitches well, he moves behind the plate well, he's not fast because he's a catcher, but he's still athletic, and in his first minor league baseball season, he threw out 39% of attempted base stealers. None of that is reflected in his current in-game ratings. He only has a 57 fielding, a 52 reaction, a 56 blocking, and then his arm is only a 61 arm strength with a 57 arm accuracy. So none of that is reflective of what I've read about his defensive ability. So I might have to end up tweaking that a little bit, which will boost his rating quite a lot, because with catcher, if you boost their defensive rating, their overall rating shoots up into the sky. So if I had to guess, it's probably a combination of the roster makers not wanting him to be like an 80 overall catcher in the minor leagues, and that's why they didn't make him an insanely good defensive catcher. Even though he's not insanely good, he's definitely good, but that's probably why they did that with the rosters. Also, his MLB ETA is listed as 2021. That's probably another reason they didn't rate him that highly, because he still has 2 full seasons, according to that, throughout the minor leagues until he's MLB ready. So they're hoping that he would improve through the franchise, just normally improving like people do with training. But even with that, I'm still probably going to bump up his fielding just a little tad. Not the most, just probably 3 ticks maybe. His arm would definitely be the thing that gets the most bump from me, because arm strength is a thing that doesn't really go up that well in training, while fielding, reaction, and blocking can go up quite a bit. But as far as his MLB ETA being 2021 for us, that could probably be when he's at his most developed, when he's actually ready to be on the Major League roster. But I would even expect him to be on the Major League roster at some point in 2020, which is the upcoming season. I wouldn't say he's going to be on the opening day roster, but maybe at some point, maybe at the trade deadline, maybe in September, he'll end up being in the Major Leagues. Now, a part of that would probably be platooning him and Buster Posey, splitting their time between catcher and first base. Maybe one day Bart will catch and Posey will play first, while the next day Bart will play first and Posey will catch. But that would all rely on us being able to get rid of Brandon Belt, who I might possibly try to trade in this upcoming offseason, and if I can't get that done, then I would probably look at trading him on the next trade deadline. But even if we can't get that done, then the final year of his contract would be that 2021 season, which is season 3 of this franchise. And even though Joey Bart is one of the best prospects in all of baseball right now, and even though his bat is rated quite well, he is not hitting very well in Double-A for us. With the Double-A Richmond Flying Squirrels of the Eastern League, he only has a 691 OPS and 343 at-bats. Definitely not what you like to see from your best prospect who's supposed to have an incredible bat. He's not hitting well at all. Sub 700 OPS is not good. He does have 9 home runs, and he is in the top 5 in RBI, but I don't give a shit about RBI at all. That is a bullshit stat. It does not reflect how good of a player the guy is. It does not help me analyze how well the guy is playing either. Now, he does have the highest WAR on the Double-A team, but one, I'm not sure exactly how accurate WAR is in this game, especially with the minor leagues. And two, that's probably because he's not complete garbage behind the plate as a catcher, so most of it is probably for his defensive ability in the game. Even though it's not great, it's great on the Double-A level, which is just like, hey, as long as you're not letting every ball get by you, you're a good catcher. But all in all, Joey Bart is definitely an interesting prospect. He is our catcher of the future. He is the guy who is primed to take over for Buster Posey, which is a huge role to fill with the San Francisco Giants. And, of course, he is a catcher who can hit, and catchers who can hit are extremely rare, especially right now. Most catchers in the league are just not very good at all at hitting. So with that being said, that is going to wrap things up here for this edition of the Prospect Profile, the first edition of the Prospect Profile this year of our catching prospect in Joey Bart. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I am saying, 4 is the best Avenger.